Welcome to Horror Realm Radio. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm your special pinch hitter host tonight, Tim Kretschmann. Mr. Mike Exler was not available for tonight. Just like many of you now having to see me on the screen, he's screaming out in pain himself. And we wish him to get well soon. And joining me tonight is the promoter of Horror Realm Convention in Pittsburgh, Rich Del Zotto. Hi, Rich.
Happy Devil's Night.
It is Devil's Night. Now, is that a big thing in Pittsburgh?
Not anymore. It's very disappointing. Like, when I was growing up, it was huge. I mean, it was like Lord of the Flies in the suburbs.
Really?
Now nothing happens. I mean, my house isn't going to get egged. I can drive home and nobody's going to throw anything at my car. I don't know what happened with these kids.
Kids these days, they're so respectful. It's just horrific that they're respectful like that.
It's upsetting. How about you? Was Devil's Night a big thing for you?
Never. It was never a thing in Milwaukee. I'm not sure about Chicago, but I think in Chicago they don't have to declare a night.
I was going to say every night's for Devil's Night in Chicago.
It's just horrific to be there in general.
Yeah.
So anyway, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. I do want to mention a special show note, and if I don't say this, we all know I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. There is a new program that is going to be premiering on Otherworldly Culture tomorrow night, Halloween. We have a brand new show called Now Streaming. And when you say Now Streaming, you kind of have to do the hand action thing. It is hosted by our friend Susie McIntyre. And she is going to have 3 lovely panelists join her and talk about the movie Transylvania 65000, which is streaming for free right now on Tubi and Plex. So if you want to join in on the fun tomorrow night with a live chat room and the whole schmear, come on out and watch the movie between here and there. It is a good Halloween watch. I don't know that I love the movie, but it's a good Halloween watch. It's very Halloween-y, I guess. You have no opinion, do you, Rich?
It's okay. It's not a Halloween movie for me, but it's okay.
Yeah, I prefer Young Frankenstein if I'm going to go down that particular road. But
that's an interesting movie to bring up right now.
It is, because one of the stars of that film passed away, I believe, last evening.
Last night or the night before.
Yeah, Terry Garr passed away. And I was looking through her filmography. Now, is that right that she actually got an Oscar nomination for Tootsie? I do not remember that.
She did?
I thought Daryl Hannah got all the great notices for that movie outside of Dustin Hoffman.
It's true.
I was surprised too to learn. I mean, I've seen the movie. I just didn't remember that she was in Oh God, the original George Burns film.
Oh, her resume is impressive. I was amazed at how many things I had forgotten she was in. Really great filmography.
Well, I looked through and I'm like, there was an unusual lack of horridness. It just wasn't a lot of bombs in there. She has a very good batting average. Usually somebody with a resume that long is going to have some real stinkers in there. There were ones that aren't as famous as others, but I didn't see like the real wretched crap that you sometimes see particularly with comedians, because a lot of times comedies, they're either good comedies or they're not. And
Right.
she's done a lot of good ones.
Well, maybe that's why she was nominated for a Oscar. Maybe she's the difference maker in a lot of those films.
Apparently helped quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Are we going to start? We have bottom 5 tonight. with
We do.
worst Halloween gifts. Should we start with that and then get into a guest
Well,
announcement?
not gifts, things that you can receive in your trick or treat bag.
Right, gifts.
I don't know. Before we get started, I have two things.
Okay.
I told you I was going to screw up your
You
schedule.
always do, but go ahead.
Part of it's your fault. I was watching the intro and reminded of the tagline of the show that would not stay dead. Why in God's name does this show keep coming back alive?
I talked you into it this time.
Yeah, and I think Mike did the time before.
Yeah. I think it's because everybody wants more Rich.
I think that's the reason it should stay dead, is because nobody needs any Rich.
Honestly, there is one guy at work that he always asks me, when's that funny guy going to be on again? And I go, which is the funny guy? And oddly, he says you. I don't understand it myself.
Well, you should buy him a beer on me.
He would take it. I know that. He
What
would
is Milwaukee?
take it. Yeah, it's Milwaukee. We don't need a reason.
So, and my last thing to throw you off,
Yeah.
I actually, for the first time in forever, got on the Facebook page.
Oh.
After the show for tonight was announced, and I was reading the comments.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a shout out to Mary Gates, I believe it was.
Okay.
Because from reading her comments, it sounds like she tunes in quite regularly, and it's appreciated, and I feel a little bad for her. But I do appreciate it, and I don't know if John is her husband, brother, same last name, whatever.
Okay.
But she's going to be listening in so that she can share with him the guest announcements. So they're both pretty excited, and so anybody that tunes in that much deserves a shout out, in my opinion.
Absolutely, we love it. This is actually one of our better viewed shows. I've told you that before, and you never listen to me. But
I mean, when I can count on my two hands and still not run out of fingers, just because it's one of the better viewed does not make it good.
Yeah, you're hurting the feelings of all of our fans right now. All right, let's start this bottom five. Who came up with this? Was this a Exler thing?
That's my hand waving at you.
Oh,
Believe it or not, it was my idea.
why?
Horror Realm Radio.
Why not? Everybody's always listing their favorite 40 horror films, their this and that, the top whatever. I want to know what people's bottom are, and I hope people comment somewhere on this what their bottom five is whenever we have this segment.
Now you say Halloween gifts.
Not gifts. Items you receive in your trick-or-treat bag. I do not consider them gifts. They are owed to me.
Okay,
Putting the effort of getting in a costume and walking up to the door and interacting with you.
that is not what Mr. Exler said to me. He said gifts, and I was not aware that Halloween was a gift-giving type of holiday.
So this is already going to fall apart, is what you're telling me.
We'll see.
Right.
I think I can make it. So let's start things off with number 5.
Am I going first?
Yeah, you better. I'm
Since
working
you're
here.
now going to figure this out on the fly.
Yes, it is.
So my number 5 is when they put the little mini bag of pretzels in your bag. Like, I don't want pretzels. I want candy. And what am I going to do? Eat those while I'm going on and then have a dry mouth the rest of the night? Which, this is not on my list. Then sometimes you're lucky to get one of those little hugs. Do you remember the little hug drinks?
No. What is that?
Oh, so they look like they're a plastic, they look like a barrel, and it's just sugar water. So you eat these pretzels, your mouth is dry, you're like, oh, thank God somebody gave me a little hug because I really need a drink. And you drink this thing, and now you're diabetic. So the combination of those two becomes the worst trick-or-treating night of your entire life.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
This was a thing? Is that a thing only?
I receive both of those things every year I went trick-or-treating. So basically that's 5A and 5B for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with my number 5, and that would be any sort of fruit. Anytime, and when I was a kid, and I have to go with that because I don't go up to houses anymore and ask for anything. But when I was a kid, there was one guy that would always put like an apple in there. Well, this was at the height of when they were telling you that don't bite into an apple, they put razor blades in there. So it was like a total wasted trip. And I felt like telling the guy, dude, everybody is throwing your stuff out. And it only happened, I think, maybe once or twice. But it was kind of like, why is he wasting everybody's time? I didn't understand it.
You just came up with a new show idea.
What?
We need to do an urban legends show. Because like I'm sitting here thinking, did anybody actually ever find a razor blade or a needle in the candy or the apple? Or
I saw it in a documentary called Night of the Living Demons.
Okay.
Or Night of the Demons. Night of the Demons. They show it's a documentary, as you know.
Yeah, if you're talking about the movie Night of the Demons, first of all, not a documentary.
It is. It was shot in real time.
But you just came up with your latest show to produce. Urban Legends. True or not true?
All right. Well, I don't know that we're going to do that. Actually, you know that Muskego, where I live in Wisconsin, we have a huge urban legend. Did I ever tell you about this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh my God, yes. We are the home of the Haunchy. Jeff didn't tell you this either. Jeff Miller and I keep talking about Haunchy. H-A-U-N-C-H. I think it's just Y. It could be E-Y. A Haunchy. You can look it up online. It's these cannibal... what's the politically correct term?
Retarded.
They're cannibal midgets. I'm going to say midgets. I don't care.
I thought you were going for mentally challenged. Okay, midgets.
No, they're midgets. And the story is 2 young lovers on a street. They surround the pickup truck because when I was growing up, Muskego was a lot of farmers. They surround the truck, they tip over the truck, as midgets tend to do with any truck, and they drag out the young lovers and then they eat them.
Tonka truck?
No, this is like a full-size truck. Because you're supposed to be scared of them.
Oh, okay.
And as, Exler always says about Chucky, how can I be scared of this little thing? Well, if they can push over a truck, now you're scared. They lived on a street that I literally bike by all summer long called Mystic Lane. And there used to be a problem on that street. They actually had to put one of those gates in to stop people from going there and just waiting to get a glimpse of one of these little guys running around and eating people. I wish I was making this up. It does not make us look very good. But
I mean, Wisconsin was not high on the list of looking good to begin with.
Now that's a hurtful thing. But
Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's true. All right, let's
Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, okay. Now you're being mean. All right, let's get to our first guest announcement.
Oh, we're doing it like this, so we're just like going back and forth. Okay.
We're gonna try it.
You ready?
Well, I gotta wait for our little sound effects to end.
Oh, I'll shut up.
Okay, now I am apparently ready.
All right. I'm gonna start out with, and hopefully you have all your images. You're able to pick them up.
Nobody is hoping that more than me at this moment. Go ahead.
I mean, hopefully, I guess I probably should have told you the order I was going to announce them to make.
Hey, it's okay. I got all the buttons here.
Good. Well, I want to start with our rescheduled cancellation from last year because another listener and very loyal fan of Horror Realm, Noah Fleck, this young man is going to have a stroke if Barbara Crampton does not reschedule. And Noah, she is rescheduled, so blood pressure can come down, the happiness level can go up, and fingers crossed, the real world doesn't throw us another curveball and we will get to meet Barbara.
Fantastic. Of course, Barbara Crampton was the star of the movie Reanimator that came out in 1985. She was in From Beyond in 1986. She kind of disappeared a little while from the horror genre and then came back for You're Next in 2011. We Are Still Here in 2015, and Jacob's Wife in 2021. Oddly, I looked into this. She did win a Rondo Hatton Classic Horror Awards Monster Kid Hall of Fame induction in 2024. I'm like, why did that take so long? But
that's a conversation for a whole other day. I'm well aware of the Rondo because I think I've told you in the past that I was with a group of us a winner of a Rondo back in the day.
Oh, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Now, she had a background in television soap operas. Do you know what soap operas she used to be on?
I did, because I think it's Sandy who's always... Oh, yeah, and she was in... Because Sandy's really up on soap operas, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
They always call it their stories, but she has been working a long time. She took that break from acting to raise her children. She returned to the industry. I think it was about 2011 was kind of her calling card coming back, and she's been making a lot since then.
Yeah, a lot of and some good ones. I've enjoyed some of the films, and she looked like she didn't age a day between the break and starting back up.
It is ridiculous how good she looks. That is there is a painting of her somewhere in an attic that is just aging because it isn't her.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's Dorian Gray shit there. I do want to shout out, we of course have the Bearded Beauty and Susie Snowflake in our chat room. It is filling up. We have somebody named Barbie Cat that just joined us, Cody412, and Hop Boing. Hop boing!
Boing!
I feel like we need a sound effect for that. So
I feel like we need sausages in our hands when we say hop boing.
First of all, I always have a sausage in my hand. I'm in Wisconsin. Oh, you didn't have anything for that.
Apparently.
Hurtful. All right, let's jump back to the bottom five. Let's see if this works.
All right.
Oh, it did. That's exciting. Now, remember, everybody, our bottom five is basically things you don't want to get when you go up to the house and say trick or treat. And we are now on number 4.
Do you want to go first this time, or would you?
No, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. Number 4 for me when I was a trick-or-treater was when somebody would give me a toothbrush.
Oh, that's the worst.
And you know what made it even worse as I got older and put 2 and 2 together? I realized it was a dentist giving it to me, who I understand they want healthy teeth, blah, blah, blah. Probably the toothbrush company, whatever one it was, gave them a huge box of free toothbrushes, because that's what they do. So that you'll promote their company. So it didn't even, not only are you giving me a toothbrush, but literally cost you nothing. Just leave your lights off so I can keep your house.
That's a good one. I'm going to put mine, and I think one of our chatters, was it Susie Snowflake? She had said this. Tootsie Rolls. I do not like Tootsie Rolls for one reason. When you bite down on them, it could fuse your teeth together for an indeterminate amount of time. If you actually, like, you bite and you hold, that's like glue that goes on in your mouth. and you can't open it up again.
They need to be room temperature. If you're out in the cold trick-or-treating, yes, they can do that. If they're room temperature, they're a lot softer.
Hold on. You actually waited until you got home? You always waited? We were plowing into that thing as we were walking.
No, because I wanted to see how many pillowcases I could fill up. And if I'm eating it, I'm reducing.
Yeah. Well, you've always been thinking about reducing. Yeah. So, all right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do number 3 right away while we're on a roll. And then we'll go back to another guest announcement. But let's do number 3. I'll go first this time. I think this one's kind of everybody picks on it. But I have to say candy corn. I don't like candy corn, but of a specific type. We had somebody that used to put candy corn in Ziploc bags. Now, it's one thing if it's coming in one of those, what do they call it, pressure locked or whatever, a professionally packaged candy corn.
Sealed.
Fine. But no, it was a Ziploc. And it would, it had a decent amount. It's probably more than I would have got in a professional package for Halloween. But no, I don't want something in a Ziploc bag that you may have been collecting coins in 5 minutes ago. No, thank you.
Well, you stole my number 3.
There I am.
My number 3 also. And since we both went candy corn, I will tell you my worst, not even Ziploc bag. It was the plastic bags with the tie on it.
Okay.
Multiple years growing up. I think it may have been the same house. I'm not 100% sure. Do you remember before you could buy Chex Mix in a bag where it was a homemade thing? You bought the cereal, you bought all the different things and roasted it yourself on a baking sheet?
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody went to that effort, which I appreciate the effort, but they scooped some up, probably with their dirty hand, and put it in a plastic bag and tied it up with a little thing.
Okay.
I wasn't risking that. As dumb as I was and still am, I knew better. Don't eat that.
Now, you're very involved in the Scouts, right, Rich?
Oh, that's an understatement, yes.
Right. I don't know if your Scouts troop does this, so I don't want you to take any offense. But we have a local Scout outfit that comes by and shakes us down, asks for money if they could install a corn stalk and hay bales in our front yard. And it seems like I'm never there that day when they come through, thank God, because then I don't have to pretend not to be home. But people put these things up. Are they aware they're just providing shelter for all the field mice in the area? They are the most disgusting things. Even a day after Halloween, if I walk past their house, I'm like, you can take that down now. You can take it down. I don't care about the skeletons. I don't care about the spiders. I don't care about any of that stuff. But you got hay bales and corn stalks. It grosses me out.
You might need some help.
I'm an angry person. I'll tell you.
That says fall and Halloween like nothing else. You might let some cats kill them.
We don't have enough cats around here. I never thought I would say that because I'm not a cat fan.
It's your immigrants that are eating the cats, not Ohio.
Okay. Well, that's another thing I was thinking of doing is the day after Election Day, just going and collecting all those political signs on behalf of America and just get them the heck out of here. I don't care.
Whatever happened, at least around here, you had to have them down like 24 hours after an election.
We do have that ordinance here, but it's the least enforced thing ever. And I'm in Wisconsin. We don't enforce drunk driving a whole lot here. To say that is a really big thing.
That's actually really good to know.
I knew you'd appreciate that. Well, you should see Jeff leaving here after some of our dead on the bases. Hey, it's time to go back to guest announcements, I guess. Let's see. How do I get to the guest announcement? I have to hit this again. Okay, everybody, get ready. Here we go. That makes it seem more regal, doesn't it?
Very regal.
Okay, thank you.
Wearing a crown.
That's to annoy people, but also so that when people are searching through the video, they know where to look. Isn't it thoughtful of me? You have to say. It's thoughtful. So I am looking at our list. Who is going to be the next big guest announcement? We already have Barbara Crampton.
So this and the next two that we're going to have tonight are all first-time Horror Realm guests.
Ooh.
Really strong possibility first-time Pittsburgh convention guests also, but I don't really care enough to put that much effort into research. They're awesome guests. Who cares if they were here before or not?
Right.
So, and I'm going to probably not say this last name properly, but from Evil Dead 2, we have Casey DePavia, but how would you say it?
I would say Cassie DePavia.
Or Cassie, but I say Casey. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say Cassie, I think, with the K. But I honestly haven't heard her name other than Bobby Joe is how I hear it.
Yeah. Well, you would think with the last name Delzato, I'd be better at pronouncing other people's last names, but I'm not, and I don't know why. But I'm very excited to get an Evil Dead 2 guest to Horror Realm. We have not had one before, to the best of my knowledge. If we did, no, we didn't. That's a small enough gap. Well, I was trying to think. If it was a large, I mean, it's not like there's extras in the movie.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say about this one is I did a little research, and she apparently is quite the singer, which
really?
that means we should try to lure her to the karaoke or scarioke on Friday
the word
night.
lure should not be in any Wisconsin person's vocabulary, because I just went straight to serial killer again.
We do that. That is something that we do. In fact, of the 3 seasons of Monsters, they did Dahmer, and now they're looking at Geen. I mean, Wisconsin is rocking that show.
But I do agree with you that enticing her or encouraging her to join us for karaoke would be awesome.
I think that would be very exciting. Now, she has quite a background. I'm going to the daytimes again. She actually received 1 Daytime Emmy Award nomination for her role in One Life to Live and 2 nominations for her role on Days of Our Lives. She was Chelsea Reardon on Guiding Light from 1986 to 1991, Blair Kramer on One Life to Live from 1993 to 2013, and Eve Donovan on Days of Our Lives from 2014 to 2020. And then she came back in 2023. She's an activist for the deaf community and a breast cancer survivor.
Wow.
You didn't know I did all this ahead of time, did you?
I did not, but I'm impressed. And I don't say that very often.
I know that. But I thought if I'm going to sit in for Mike, I better not embarrass him. He would hurt me.
And Mike's very good at finding facts that a lot of us don't know or are not at first Google.
Yeah, and I will admit, I don't know if all this is true. It's what my research shows, but I did use the internet, so who knows?
Nice.
You never know. You never know. All right, so let's go back to the bottom 5. Is this giving everybody whiplash when I do this? All right, we're back at the bottom 5.
Horror Realm Radio's top 5.
I did do that. What are we at? Number 2, right?
We are at number 2.
All right. I actually my favorite bowel movement. Let's see here.
Hopefully, it's your only bowel movement.
You would think. You would think. I'm not good on my feet like Mr. Exler. I can't make the witty comments. Do you want to go first or should I?
You go ahead. Let's see if you.
I'm gonna go with this one, and this is because I know my parents have pulled this stunt. Leftover candy from Easter.
It's a very interesting one.
It has happened, and it shouldn't. But it has happened, and that's not good. I'm not 100% sure it was from Easter either. I'll tell you that. But they live in an area where they only get about 5 kids on a weekend, and why would you buy those? I think the smallest pack is like 80 these
Why don't you
days.
stop at the 7-Eleven and buy 5 full-size candy bars if that's all you get?
Because they're always afraid they're going to get more. Yeah, have you dealt with old German people? This is what they're like. Now, I used to get about 300.
Woo, awesome.
It was ridiculous. Well, our stupid neighbor, first of all, they made it that our trick or treat wasn't the same night as the city. And then they all get out on Facebook, come out to our neighborhood. I'm like, I don't need lots of people that I don't know tromping around my house. I don't need it. I want to throw them off my yard, you know.
Yeah.
But we would get about 300. This year I got about 50, and I figured it out. Almost all my neighbors, to make sure that the children have the highest effect on causing their diabetes, have gone out onto the driveway right by the road so the little darlings don't even have to walk up to the house anymore. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you going to make them walk through your fog? How are you going to scare them along the way if you catch them right down by the street? It's asinine. I'm sorry.
Oh, we have to do the same thing because otherwise they'll think we're not giving out candy.
Our rule was always turn on your light, turn on your porch light. Guess what? That still works. It's fine. But now, oh no, you should go out there. I'm like, it's 40 degrees out. I am not sitting outside for 2 straight hours. I don't do that when I'm plowing out the snow. I'm not doing it for these little creeps that you had.
Now, I will endure anything to give trick-or-treaters candy because my entire life until 2 years ago, I never lived on a street where there was trick-or-treaters. So this
really?
is very exciting for me.
Okay. You ever want to get an overdose of that, you just come on over. It's insane over here. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is any candy with marshmallow in it.
Oh, really?
But more specifically, and you may never have heard of this because it's made in Altoona, PA.
Okay.
You would always get a mallow cup. Well, you'd get multiple mallow cups in your bag.
Never heard of it.
Like a creamy marshmallow.
Okay.
Think of a Reese's peanut butter cup, but marshmallow, soft marshmallow in the middle. And to make it worse, it's kind of dark out. You see them throw something in your bag. You're like, yeah, another Reese's peanut butter cup. You get home and you're like, how in God's name are there 7 of these mallow cups? And I only have 5 Reese's peanut butter cups, the greatest candy on earth.
I agree with you on Reese's peanut butter cups. I have never heard of a mallow cup.
You will have some when you come to Horror Realm next March.
I am looking forward to it. Our new follower in the chat room, Jackig13, he is a big mallow cup supporter. He says they're awesome. But he says them in the past tense. He says they were awesome.
Oh, they still exist.
Okay.
And they also, I forget the name of their peanut butter cup they create. Was another really disappointing one. It's not as good of peanut butter, not as good of chocolate, and they put a hint of butterscotch in it. Imagine that disaster.
That sounds good to me.
You
We
are
have
a fan.
we have a root beer. I don't know if it's local or not. That's called Dang Butterscotch Root Beer, which is the greatest thing ever. So I'm kind of team butterscotch.
Not with your peanut butter cup, trust me.
I believe, you know what I'm hearing right now? As you know, Otherworldly Culture is going to have a presentation that happens at Horror Realm. I think we need to do some sort of Halloween candy taste test.
That's fine.
I think that's something we need to do.
Even though I have no time to take part in these shenanigans, I'll make time.
For that one, right? We'll
Yes.
just go around and we'll just do our own trick or treat right there in the panel room.
There you go.
Oh, that couldn't go horribly wrong. It is a
not
better
at all.
idea than somebody was saying, let's give a T-shirt cannon to Jeff Miller. And I said, no, that's not going to happen.
You know, I priced those out, and I'm not spending the money because I was going to buy him one.
He would knock somebody out almost immediately. Almost immediately, he would go right for the face.
That's all right.
You're
Free
for it,
t-shirt
huh?
will soak up that blood.
All right, let's get back to our guest announcements. Let's see if it works. Come on. Oh, we got a hitter button. Here we go. Okay, so far we have had Barbara Crampton and from Evil Dead 2, Cassie DePavia. Hope I'm saying that right.
Would you like another?
I would like another guest announcement, and they're getting mad at us in the chat room, I think. We better give them one.
What, for dragging it out?
Yes.
Well, we're going to stick with Evil Dead 2, and we are going to also have Sarah Berry joining us.
Sarah Berry from Evil Dead 2, another top-notch guest to have out at Pittsburgh at the end of February and early March. Let's see. I do have some additional info on her. She was also in Chud 2, Bud to Chud. And I don't know that I've seen that. I saw the first Chud. And then
Sorry.
Art/New York. I'm not aware of that one. She is my same age. And she is known for her stage work, appearing in Broadway productions of Les Miserables, Les Miserables, and Beauty and the Beast. Well, I'm not as cultured as you, Rich. I don't know these things. Beauty and the Beast, I can say. It said, oh, wait a minute. I also have that she is also a singer.
Well,
I hear you.
He's going to be off the hook.
Oh, Scarioki's going to be hot. That's the hot ticket. And a good reason to come on Friday when you can, the lines are shorter on Fridays. So
Not that much anymore, but you're correct.
yeah, you're right. It's not as much as it used to be, but you can definitely, the other thing is it takes away your anxiety. If you get that all knocked out on Friday, Saturday, you can enjoy the vendors. You could go, I'll get killed if I don't say this, by Adam. You could go to the film room. We got a lot of great stuff going on in the film room. So, good times.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
People getting mad at us.
It's all right. We'll finish off the bottom five with this run on the bottom five. Let's go to our number one bottom five.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go with mine. It's pretty simple. This date stamps me, though. They used to make me go around with a UNICEF globe. Do you remember these? There are these little metal things, and it looked like a globe. It was basically a piggy bank. The worst part about it is, even my little 5 or 6 year old hands could crush this in my hand. There would always be dents in this thing. From no pressure at all, I was like Quint in Jaws, just crushing these things with my little tiny hands. They were useless. I don't know if any of that money ever made it to UNICEF, but we had to go run around with those stupid things. They made me angry.
Well, if everybody in the United Nations would pay their fair share, you wouldn't know how to do that.
That's right. That is right.
Ooh, this is a good pre-election episode now too.
Wow. He's just going off. Let's stay off the politics. Let's get to your bottom five.
My number one is in line with your number five, but more different specific.
Okay.
Raisins. You'd get a little box of raisins.
Oh, I remember getting those. Yes. See, I actually love raisins. So I used to like it, and I never thought as a kid, excuse me, how gross that was. I mean, they'd always be sticky and kind of like moist in there.
Plus, how do you know they didn't open it and lick the top?
That never bothered me. I figured all of that just made me more immune to things in my later life. Oh. I think those were all growing experiences.
I don't like raisins to begin with. And if I wanted raisins, my mother or my grandmother would happily have shoved them down my throat. I didn't need them on the trick-or-treating time.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think it's time for our last guest announcement. I will tell you that we now have Zagorskate 45 heating up our chat room, wanting to know if Fred Vogel is going to be there.
You know, honestly, I haven't talked with Fred a little bit. I'm assuming he's going to be. It's just, we've kind of, Fred and I and Shelby, it's just kind of an unwritten thing. Unless something's going on in their life where they can't be, they will be.
Well, so, we'll keep you informed if we find out. How's that? Zagorskate.
I owe Fred a call or a text anyway, so I'll find out.
Well, maybe they'll hear about this huge barn burner of a show. Zagorskate 45, by the way, also tells us that last year's Horror Realm lineup was one of the best, hands down.
Nice.
I thought you'd like that. We're buttering you up for a good last guest announcement tonight.
Yes, and as I mentioned to you earlier tonight, Tim, fear not, everybody. There's quite a few more to come. Just finishing up the dirty work of, signing things and stuff. I hope that we can match last year's guest list in everybody's mind, or even be a little better. But hit your button so I can do an announcement.
Okay. I don't know if it's annoying or not, but I think it's going to be helpful later on for editing.
More than likely it's annoying.
Hey, that's never stopped me, Rich. What is the last guest announcement of the evening?
So this one I can guarantee has not done a Pittsburgh convention before because she's newer to another she. So we had 4 ladies this evening. She's newer to the convention scene, but not newer to horror films. This was a staple on the shelves in the VHS store era. From Prom Night 2, Lisa Schrag.
Oh, wow.
I'm really excited. I'm excited about everybody, I always am, but this one has me pumped. Because I love that movie. I love all these movies, so I should just shut up.
We've been saying that for years. But it's really great to see really hot guest lists this year. This is in addition to some of them you have already named off before.
Oh, yeah.
So
and it's only going to get bigger and better.
I can't say anything, but that's what I hear. That is some exciting stuff that's coming, Rich. And I know the fans of Horror Realm are happy. Oh, go ahead.
I said that's what she said when you said that's some exciting stuff coming.
Susie Snowflake just put in the chat room, just ordered the prom dress. I've waited forever for this. Fantastic girling to the fullest. And Jack Egg 13 says, nice.
Sweet.
So I think this is an exciting night. We are probably, what did we say, Rich? Maybe late November, early December?
Yeah.
Keep an eye on things.
This to give to those who actually take the time to listen. There'll probably be a few announced first on Facebook and a few more first time announced on the show, because I expect these to start rolling in November, and we don't have the opportunity to do another show till late November, and I don't want to keep people waiting, but we'll see. It's not all in my hands.
All right. That's fantastic. By the way, Lisa has also been in Food of the Gods 2 and China White, both in 1989. Very productive in the 80s.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. We got some great guest announcements. But as you know, as soon as we finish those, we're on the ticking clock because people are going to start dropping off and living their lives. So we want to do some quick promos for everybody about what's coming up here at Otherworldly Culture and the Horror Realm. One of the things that we're supposed to tell everybody about is our film room. That's right. You can get your short film or feature-length film submitted to the Horror Film Room at Horror Realm. Send it to horrorrealmff@gmail.com and be seen by an appreciative horror audience. Pittsburgh, it's due by December 1st if you want to be part of all the fun with the Horror Realm Film Room. And also, I think you like to tell everybody about this next event, which is very successful for you guys, the Horror Fan Flea Market. Now, I've never been. What is that like?
So, and you need to keep pushing this point. There are no guests. There's no convention activities. This is truly the closest we can get to a flea market. You have vendors there that just getting stuff from getting rid of stuff from their own personal collection. Some people who do like craft shows and stuff on the regular, but a lot of cool stuff. It's a nice way to maybe kick off your holiday shopping or just get some cool stuff for your collection and just hang out with people that are into the same stuff. But it's a short day, a few hours on Saturday, November 9th. I am actually making my return to get rid of some more of my crap. I will carry it in the trash bags and see how much money I can soak out of you people.
Good for you. And that's coming November 9th. Is that right? Is that next weekend?
A week from this Saturday, and I will be missing going to Pitt versus Virginia. I love Horror Realm and the crowd that comes to Horror Realm so much, I'm skipping my first Pitt football game of the season.
Oh, my God.
I've played all the other ones.
That is amazing. Well, that's great. And we also want to remind everybody coming up, I hit more buttons here, next week, or actually tomorrow, we want to remind everybody, Now Streaming is on tomorrow live here at the same Twitch station. It runs about an hour, and they are going to be discussing the classic horror comedy Transylvania 65000. That's right. It's going to be talked about. It is streaming free on both Tubi and Plex. Check it out, and you can be a part of tomorrow's night, Dead on Thursday.
Do you use Tubi?
I'm sorry?
Do you watch Tubi?
I am a huge Tubi fan.
You need to catch that clip where it does when you log in and it does the
Tubi. Oh, I love that. I wish I could get a hold of that. I've actually been looking for it. It's such like it's a happy sound for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like checking things off. I use Microsoft To Do. It has this little bell song, and I think I have a Pavlovian response to it where I feel really happy when I check it off. The same thing is true when I hit Tubi, because there are such weird movies that you can't find anywhere else. Movies that I watch YouTube videos and they say, you can't find this movie, nobody's ever sold it or anything. But they start talking about it. I'll pop open Tubi and like half the time it's sitting right there. It is crazy what they have.
Yeah.
I'm a big, and just to let you know, what some of our panelists did is watched it on Tubi and then watched it on Plex, and they will give you as part of their review, they're going to tell you how many commercials, how long that was, and what the difference in experience was. So if you're not into the ad-supported streaming, you'll learn a lot from watching Now Streaming tomorrow night here on Twitch. And the chat room will be rocking.
Don't come a knocking.
Okay. I think that's it. Did Mike have like a special closing he did on this show?
No. At this point, we both hated our lives so much we just wanted to log off.
No. Everybody loves you two guys. America's sweethearts, Mike and Rich. Mike, get well soon. We hope that you're feeling better soon. I know watching this didn't help, so take some Jägermeister and call me in the morning.
You know what? Since he missed this,
Yeah.
I'm going to volunteer us to do one of these episodes since you guys love us so much, mainly you, Tim. We're going to do one live from a sauna someday, just in our towels sweating. What do you think?
Say it ain't so.
Oh, now with that reaction, I'm going to do it. And one of us, more than likely, is going to have a stroke and die.
Well, in that case, I'm going to encourage it. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. It's only a little bit over 100 days away. Horror Realm 2025, February 28th through March 2nd at the Crowne Plaza at Pittsburgh South. You can learn more at horrorrealmcon.com. So check it out, and we'll see you at Horror Realm.